This assault has not only caused financial distress among the working class, it has not only seen wealth funneled upwards into the hands of the billionaire class, but has had negative repercussions for our society and our democracy. The Democratic Party's abject betrayal of the working class, especially in rural America, lies at the heart of the rise of a demagogue like Donald Trump. Rather than halt this corporate pillage, the victims of this assault are demonized as ignorant, racist bigots, those Hillary Clinton called deplorables.
And the second thing we found that you mentioned was that the white working class, especially in these rural areas, are not becoming more illiberal. They are not a basket full of deplorables. Yes, there's some people like that. We estimate nationally, maybe max 3% would fit into Hillary's basket full of deplorables. You can use the bully pulpit. You can use the federal contract. Now, people will say, whoa, wait a second, you're messing with capitalism. It's not going to work. Well, you know what? These large corporations are enormously flexible. The other thing we found, this is another sad one, that Olean plant in upstate New York was Siemens Energy. 90,000 employees, was spun off, but still connected to Siemens, which has 400,000 employees, a German-based company. Well, 1,700 U.S. workers lost their jobs when they stopped making a certain kind of compressor for oil rigs or fracking or something. In Germany, 3,000 were going to lose their jobs. But because they have co-determination there, half the board members are workers, including high-level union officials. They did all these investigations. They did all these pressure tactics. And the company agreed to no compulsory layoffs. Plus, this is the part that was really mind-blowing. In other words, you have to buy the worker out before they'll leave. Otherwise, you can't get rid of them. The 6 facilities that were making the product that they were shutting down, they agreed to put something else in the plant and keep the 6 plants open. So that could be part of your federal contract. No compulsory layoffs, no plant shutdowns, no stock buybacks. But you have to interfere with capitalist and Wall Street prerogatives. That takes guts. And I keep asking myself, don't they see that it really works for Sherrod Brown in Ohio? I mean, Bernie in Vermont and Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts, those are, Democratic states. But Ohio, Brown outpaced Trump by 15% in 2020.
Well, thus they'd win by a landslide if they actually push through FDR type, New Deal reforms. But the Democratic leadership as it exists, 80-year-old Biden, Nancy Pelosi, they wouldn't exist because they're creatures of Wall Street. And their power comes from one, that they're funded by corporations, but even more importantly, they control the flow of campaign or corporate donations to anointed candidates. So I think they'd rather go down in their privileged first-class cabins than become politically irrelevant. Because if there was a pivot where they actually challenged corporate power, the Democratic leadership as it exists presently would be eradicated. I mean, in a fair election, not one saturated with corporate money, Bernie Sanders would have beat Hillary Clinton and probably would have beaten Donald Trump.
I agree. And the other big fiction, then I'll stop pontificating here, is that, okay, get an education, get a job in high tech. This is what we've told people to do. Maybe you can't do it, but your kids will do it. And then things will be fine. You have a bright new future, stable employment. Well, last year, the high tech industry did, probably $100 billion in stock buybacks. How did they pay for it? They did 260,000 mass layoffs. 260,000 workers lost their jobs in the high tech sector through mass layoffs. Another 50,000 so far this year. These are the jobs of the future. I think it's the deregulation of corporations. Of course, the corporate trade agreements, the kind of which you're very familiar with, that have taken place over the years. This all can be stopped. Human will, creativists, human agency creativists, human agency can stop it. But we need a movement to deal with it, and that's got to be built.